All right. Hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, sponsored by Draftkings Sportsbook on this Cognizant, formerly Honda, Danielle Matthews Classic Week down
They
in
should
down in
rename it that.
Florida. Yeah. Now, Danielle, we were like we weren't quite sure because you were busy, but Harry and I said if we recorded without you, the show would have an asterisk, right? So like
I see
we
what you
we
did there.
we couldn't do that. We could not do that. So we had to make sure we had you on. So how we doing, Danielle? Your schedule's been a little bit hectic. Tell the people, while in the middle of forming a future LPGA golfer, what
Yes.
else? What else have you been doing
Yeah, we
down
know we
in your
want to know where
hometown?
you've been and who
Mhm,
you've been hanging with. Okay.
mhm.
This is traditionally one of the busiest weeks of the year for me. And with Brandon not playing this year, I was like, oh, okay, it might be a little more chill. Like, no, absolutely not. Monday started. We went to the match. I went with Brad. He was supposed to do a putting clinic. So we got there. Harry, you were just telling us, kind of some of your sly ways to get into a parking garage. Brad's like, hey, here's VIP tickets, but I don't have a parking pass for you. So I had to finagle my way and I got parked right next to DJ Khalid, who thought he was playing in the match. Didn't realize that he was just playing the par three. That guy is hilarious. But
More on him
anyway, so
later.
more on him later. Exactly. So yeah, Monday at the match with Fax. I didn't see the broadcast. I don't know if you guys did. We can get
Oh,
into
I
that
did.
as well. But
Yeah, Rory
um
gave credit to Fax for that
he did.
five wood putt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but it was insane. So we got there was people everywhere. It was almost like a Palm Beach networking event, but it was insane. I was like, we can make the joke that like the match has drawn more of a crowd than any live event has. So I don't know if it's because Palm Beach is like golfers like headquarters of the world or what, but I will tell you one
How
thing.
is that course? Have you played that
It
that
looks
night or no?
terrific.
It looks
I
cool.
haven't played it. B's playing on Tuesday, but I told Fax, I'm like, I haven't played this yet. He's like, we got to get out there. But I'll tell you what, I would play. I would want you guys to come down tomorrow for us to play. If they keep those lights up,
Hmm.
where can we play night golf? It was so cool. There was a full moon, the
Oh,
lights,
was
like,
that just up for the match? I thought it was all that was their
oh, that was
thing.
just the match. That
Oh, I
needs
thought
to
it
be their
was.
thing.
Yeah, because
Let's
I know
pitch
there's
it
a
to them
couple
because nobody
courses
else is thinking that.
in Arizona. I think there's one.
Yeah,
There's
there's a
one right.
bunch now.
There's none down here. I don't know if there's any up
Wow,
there, but
Mm.
it's
like,
crazy.
I mean, how great would that be to go and play like
Oh
under
yeah.
the lights? Like, you feel like you're in baseball again, softball, like
Mhm.
playing under the lights. So we did that on Monday, which was pretty cool. Tuesday, yesterday, right? Yeah. Beach Ready party, which was awesome. Went there, got to see the new release, like their new lines coming out. Beach Ready, Zero Restriction, Fairway and Green. Billy Draddy was generous enough to make a great donation to the NEPA Invitational, our charity event, as you know. So we'll, if you guys are coming up again this year, we'll have some nice Be Draddy swag added to the collection. So ended the night there, got home kind of late last night, and then started first thing this morning meeting Jason Bale and over there with Lucas Glover. They went off, I think, like at 6:50 this morning for the pros played 9. And then Brad and Rory went off. And then we had a PGA Tour Wives event with Mia's Miracles. So we did that. I actually designed a coloring book. If you guys want me to, Moose, you want me to send some for your
Oh
daughter,
yeah.
I'll send her a golf coloring book that I designed. We did that. And then after met with Fax again. So, and then, a little bit of work in between. I also run a business. So it's been a little bit crazy. And then trying to prep a little bit, being like, okay, what's actually going on this week so I know what I'm talking about on this podcast. And it's Wednesday, right? Am I
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
It
Wednesday.
is
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So it all kicks off tomorrow. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
is it
Yeah, very
is it
early too,
crazy?
by the way. 6:45 tee time
Yeah.
for the people that are in our one and done. You got to make your pick tonight.
That's
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. You got
I
to
need
get it
it.
in.
Yeah, yeah.
What are the crowds like down there? Is it like craziness?
So it's today is Wednesday, obviously, and there was the pro-am, but we got there early and I took my staff with me so they could capture content and everything else. And they were like, what is going on here? There was crowds. I mean, of course, like I went to meet Brad. He's like, hey, Rory's on 10. So walked down 10 fairway. We're on 11. And I mean, he had at least on a Wednesday at, I think by the time he was on 11 was like around 8:30. There was probably like 200 people watching him in a pro-am.
Yeah. 10's a par
So
5 now.
Mhm.
They
yeah.
changed it from a par 4 to a par 5.
I did see that.
Went to
Yeah.
70 to 71, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a long par 4. I played down there. It's a tremendous golf course. We'll get to that later.
How many balls were in the water?
I had a few in the water. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard not to there.
Couple, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It just grabs you. Harry Mays, let's talk about Jake Knapp. A
Oh,
29-year-old first PGA
Tempo
Tour win
Town.
in his 9th start at the Mexico Open for $1.4 million. We'll talk about some of his statistics when it comes to speed, but another long shot, another great story, another emotional post-round presser, the whole nine. We're getting it all this early part of the season.
yeah, no doubt about it. It was rinse and repeat on the PGA Tour for the long shots and great stories. And I'll tell you, I had zero expectations coming into this tournament. This is usually one of those tournaments, the field is light. Finau was the prohibitive favorite, and then it was almost like a elevated Corn Ferry event to me. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, but it's kind of not a lot of names that really grab you. And man, I couldn't have been more enthused and enthralled in watching this telecast. I watched every day, and I watched from start to finish on Sunday. I'm a huge fan now of Jake Knapp. He started out with that 4-shot lead through 54 holes, and if he's on the Live Tour, he already had the prize. But that lead was gone after the 7th hole. And you want to talk about watching what nerves do to a golfer? Watch the first 3-4 holes of Jake Knapp in the final round. I'm telling you, this guy's got an unbelievable move. He gets it to the top and just sort of drops it in. And they compared it to Fred Couples. And I think there's a lot of comparisons to be made there. And Freddie had one of the sweetest moves on tour, and still does in his 60s, by the way. But this guy was just full of nerves. He was just hooking everything, put it in the water on 3, and ended up, finally, finding a way to make a double. Then on the 4th shot, he blows it way right and, found a way to make a par. But Valimaki birdied 4 and then eagled 7, the drivable par 4. He hit an unbelievable shot and almost made a hole. It was close to a hole in one on a par 4. And he drops in the eagle. Knapp hits it in the bunker right and makes a really nice bunker shot, makes the putt for birdie, kind of settle his nerves. But now the tournament's tied. The 4-shot lead is gonzo. They head to the back, which we talked about. That 10th hole was a bear all week. It's one of the toughest holes on tour. Forget about that tournament, but on tour, Valimaki bogeyed it. And then he birdied the 12th, bogeyed the 13th. He had a rough start to the back, but Knapp birdied 14 to take a 2-shot lead. And on the back, I added up all his putts and divided by 9. The average putt that he had to make was less than 3 feet. So he was hitting it close to make pars. I mean, he made a lot of pars, but he didn't have these 10-footers for par, like, real tough putts. I mean, he really played well on the backside. And what a guy to root for, man. He's doing a shotgun of a beer with got the hockey sweater on,
Ducks jersey on.
The Ducks, he had the Ducks on his shirt. It was a hockey theme throughout.
Anaheim.
Oh,
yeah, the Anaheim. But then Valimaki's cousin, he's a Finn player for the Phoenix Coyotes, too. So there was a lot of hockey stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
How about 2 fairways hit, Harry?
Two out of 13. He's
everywhere.
the only guy to ever do that, to win a tournament. Since they've been keeping these stats, they only hit 2 fairways in the final round and win. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I don't have the stat on me, Harry. Maybe but I'm pretty sure during the telecast I heard them say that he didn't miss a putt. He was like 100% for putts within 5 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So already he's 7th on tour in ball speed at 184 and 11th in driving distance at 308. I mean, just
the build on him too.
Yeah. I mean, he's got some arms on him. They brought up the whole bouncer thing, a million times. But
I heard that first. I heard he's a bouncer, so I'm thinking it's the other guy,
Valimaki.
And I go, I can see that. And then they're like, Jake. And I'm like, wait, what? And I was like, wow, okay. And
then he wanted the bartender. They're like, we need help with security. He's like, all right.
And it was at a bar called the Country Club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is hilarious. And I think they asked him about it or something. He goes, well, let's just hope I never have to do that again.
Yeah. But I mean, he knocked it around on the Canadian tour, the Corn Ferry tour, mini tours, and guy really paid his dues, man. I just love these stories, when I was thinking nothing was going to happen in this tournament, like, whatever, I'll watch it. I couldn't turn it off.
It was
Yeah.
cool. And another stat, again, I may not have it verbatim, but I'm pretty sure like so far this year we've had 3 rookie last year there was only 3 rookie winners in
Oh,
total, right?
Yeah.
And this year we've already seen 2?
I think 3.
3. Okay.
I think because
Yeah.
Pavon he qualifies as a rookie,
As a rookie.
right?
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah.
tremendous.
So versus an entire season versus
Yeah.
like the first quarter of a season. So
Unbelievable.
you see the talent that's just coming through, which is a great segue to roll into like the new ranking for the PGA Tour University. I don't know if you guys follow too much on that, but Georgia Tech's Christo Lamprecht is number 1 on World Golf Rankings now and number 1 PGA Tour U. So we know that with that comes full exempt status. So we'll be seeing probably a lot of that young raw talent coming up again and again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love
so, looking at Steven Yeager is hanging around, man. Every week he was a T3. Who else did we have?
Justin Lauer almost. He
Yep.
just missed birdie. Oh, I saw that approach shot coming in on 18 and just hit the green, bounced right over it. I was like,
He was a top 5.
Yeah.
Patrick Rogers hung in there. We had him in the top 10.
Eric Van Rooyen just missed my top 5. He got a T8.
Yeah, he had that great
PBR.
Thursday and then kind of scuffled around. You couldn't really get it going. Got it going a little bit on Sunday morning or Sunday
Same
morning.
with Nico. He was playing good early on and then just kind of fell apart a little bit there.
Finau, who was the heavy favorite with the T13, just just doesn't seem to have a ton.
Harry loved watching him this past
Oh my
week.
God. He's leaving 6-foot putts for par short.
I saw you text us that. Yeah.
I mean, what? Yeah.
He needs a lesson from Jake.
He does.
Nap time, baby.
Brandon Wu, I had in the top 20. I got 9 wins, 9 winning bets in the last 2 weeks, Moose.
Fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
That were put out on this show.
I do got to tell you this story. I'm at the wives event today, and I'm sitting by Savannah Hodges, Lee Hodges' wife.
From Bama.
And she's talking about his win that he had, and she said this psychic came up to her on Friday. He was playing well, but not leading the tournament. This is, a year or 2 ago. And it's like, hey, like, are you Lee's wife? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, just want to let you know, like, I'm a sports psychic. Your husband's going to win this week. And she's like, okay, sir, like, have a good day.
Wow.
Like, thank you. A little strange, whatever. He ended up winning that week. She said, like, obviously after the win came a lot of Instagram followers, whatever. She was going through trying to figure it out. I'm like, can you get me his new number? I could use this in my fantasy. Like, so I thought that was pretty funny. She's like, I don't know who it was. I was like, if you ever see him again, you connect me, you make that connection. But how bizarre, Friday. And Justin Lauer's wife, Janice, was also there and could vouch for her that this guy did, in fact, come up and say on Friday, he's going to win, and he ends up winning. I'm
wow.
Like, Swing and Ding needs to track this guy down so Danielle can start winning her fantasy Draftkings.
We need him on the pod. That's for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Know what his secret is. Harry, we mentioned the match briefly. Did you guys, other than the lights and the pomp and circumstance, what did you think about the golf and the format?
I watched it from start to finish, and it was fun. I like the group that they put together. I thought it was pretty good. Homa's great. He didn't play well at all, but he's very funny, and he's some of the quips that he had. Like, the people I got a 0 next to my name. People are going to think this Homa guy hates charity. And Rory steps up on the tee. And come on, Rory, do something for charity. He's just great. I love. Lexi being in there, and it was cool. I don't need DJ Khaled. Okay. I don't need him. I don't ever need him in my life.
It's like a 30 handicap, and he's somehow made his way.
Yeah. And he's making fun of Charles Barkley. Like anytime he was on the mic, like, you shut up. I don't need Biz Nasty in there either. There's too many guys on the microphone.
Yeah, he literally showed up and thought that he was playing in the match.
Oh, I believe
he's
it.
on the range hitting balls next to Rose and Max.
I believe
and
it.
he's like, no, I'm playing. And they're like, no, you're playing the par 3. He's like, no. Look, I'm playing in the match.
Yeah.
They're like, no, man, you're not.
No,
he arrived
you're
and
not.
had people carry him out of his I think it was a two-tone Bugatti, because he had like 9 people carrying him out because he didn't want to get his Jordans dirty.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm like, what?
Good.
He does have one of the greatest quotes of all time, though. They asked him, like, you're a bigger guy, why don't you lose weight? And he said, we don't lose, we don't only win. We don't do any losing.
I mean, that is an epic comeback to that type of question.
But
Oh,
it's also,
goodness.
I said this the last time and a couple times with these matches, 9 holes. It's all we need. We don't need 12.
9 holes,
9 holes.
less open mics.
Yes.
And I was there, and there were so many people. I heard the broadcast. It looked like there was nobody, but I mean, I stood there and saw them all pulling up on their carts and everything else. I walked down one fairway. It was funny. People got a little. They were like, "Ah, whatever. They're not going to stop us." That it was all roped off like a tour event. People just went under and started walking down one fairway. Everyone's like, "No, no, no!" Like, you got to get out. And everyone's like, "Who cares?" Like, and Brandon's like, make it like Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. Like, let us just, respect the game, but get close enough. So everybody kind of just was going wherever they wanted. Of course, it was an open bar event. So, it was like a wedding night golf style thing with, So you went up, you could get 2 drinks per person immediately. So you have everybody out there double fisting, probably hammered before the first tee shots even hit. So I went down 1. I walked back up 2. Went in, got some of the also free food, went in, grabbed some food, grabbed myself another water. And then I went and watched, I think, like 1 other hole. So I watched 3 holes because the crowds were so ridiculous. And all you could see was just like cell phones holding up. So half the shots I watched on other people's cell phones because I couldn't even see like to the fairway or like on the green. So I couldn't see too much golf. But
I would imagine it's hard to find your ball. Like you talk about playing night golf, like they had people spotting for them. Like if the 3 of us went out and played there at night, I think we'd have a hard time finding ball. Don't you?
Yeah,
I would think.
Well, it was pretty well lit up. But also there were like, I mean, around all those players, there was like 10 people with these huge lights following them around.
Because those bunkers are massive. Those waist areas, and to find a white ball in those waist areas is kind of
it's like, where is it? Yeah. It was funny. The one hole, I can't remember which hole it was. I'm not too familiar with the course, but Max it's where that one pin was literally just like sitting up on like a plateau, and there's no way you can land it there. Max like kind of like just hit it over, and there was like 10 kids, and they all went to go grab the ball, and everyone's like, no.
Oh yeah, no. I saw that.
Yeah.
Those kids were on camera. Rory hit a drive. It must have been 400 yards. He cut the corner on one of these dog legs and was like 80 or 90 yards to the green. It was incredible.
Was it fun to watch though, Harold? Like, was it cool?
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I watched a good amount of it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, there's some really good golf shots. From everybody.
What'd you think about the women? I mean, I seen Lexi, that eagle I seen Lexi make, and
Rose,
just watching her swings. Well, Rose, they said she almost got her leg taken off. She didn't even realize. She went to like put her club back in and wasn't paying attention, and the camera guy was coming at a swerve, like missed her by this much. Can you imagine that happening?
Man.
God, imagine.
My God. But I thought, I mean, from what I saw, like,
there is a lot going on.
I've never seen a women's event in person. So seeing that was kind of cool. Like watching like Lexi, like she's an athlete.
Oh yeah. She's like 6'1". I mean, she stripes it. But they showed, I don't know if you knew this, but they put up Rose Zhang's class schedule on the screen.
Oh, I didn't.
That she's at Stanford going through classes right now, which I really wasn't aware of. And apparently was flying immediately after the event, flying out and landing at 3:30 in the morning in San Jose and going to a class the next morning at Stanford, and then had 2 other classes in the afternoon.
See, the 3 of us would have stayed in Palm Beach and went to the bar.
Darn right we would have.
Yes. Well, I did see like when Lexi eagled, I think Rose was like cheering, and everyone's like, she's not on your team. And she's like, like, right. Like, no, like it's a girl, and we're just excited for her. And there was no money, obviously, like no prize money. The winnings went to American Red Cross and Boys and Girls Club of America, but still, like it was kind of cool to see like camaraderie between them a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Guys, has there been a live rumor that hasn't come true at this point? Because the Anthony Kim story, it just exploded today. You finally see footage. You actually hear the guy talking. Like, just I heard he shot an 82. I don't know if that's true or not.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, what
was anybody more pumped than the big return of Anthony Kim than Harry Mays?
I know.
I just tweeted about it. It's like, this would have been great in 2010. I'd have been interested. It's like the Eagles signing Mike Vick today. I mean, honestly, like, tell me I'm not right.
And what about that quote coming out? I'm here to bust everyone's ass. Like,
it doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
No, he's got long hair now, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Golf swing looked pretty good.
Yep.
you
And
know,
he's just
but
in like sweatshorts and a girl dad t-shirt. Like,
yeah.
Just hanging out.
And he's not on a team. He's like a wild card, they call those guys. There's
Mhm.
like a couple of wild cards in there.
Yeah, equivalent
Yeah.
of like what, a sponsor's exemption almost or
I
something?
guess you're not
Yeah.
a member of the team, and they got like the 52 members of the 13 teams, and then they'll throw in like 3 or 4 other guys to make, like, I think 56 players will
Cards or
probably end up teeing off.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't wait to hear like the documentary about like what he's been doing, where he's been,
Mhm.
what the true
Yeah.
stories. And he said it too. He goes, "There'll be time to tell the story, but for now, I'm just going to focus on golf."
Yeah.
But
How
it'll
Well,
old
be
is
interesting.
I hope he does well, but,
Yeah,
I don't being out of the game like that for like 10 years plus.
how
right.
old is he?
He's 38 now.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, back when he was 24 to 26, he was lighting the world on fire.
Body feels a little different too
Yeah.
with a
Mhm.
10-year age difference.
No doubt. And did you see the tweet that they put out? Speaking of live, I couldn't resist this either. The Cliques, which is one of the teams, puts out a tweet. What a run for Blandy, Richard Bland. He's the old guy that's
Mhm.
he's like 50 years old, I think. Top 14 finishes in 6 of his last 7 events. Like they're broadcasting this as like an accomplishment.
How's that a stat?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the
Participation trophy.
tour junkies picked it up. So props to them. And I said, so does this come with any pro shop credit?
That's
You
great.
can get one of these.
Yeah, they're the Cliques. Is that it?
That's a Cleeks hat.
That's actually a sweet logo. I'm a fan.
I like the
that.
logo.
I
Yeah.
like it.
I forgot I had that until you
There
said
you go.
it.
That's
How
cool.
did you get that?
I thought you were
Well-
pulling out like some tequila or something. I was like, what?
The same
Moose
person
is ready to
that
get
got
loose.
that range,
the range
goats hat
goats.
for
Oh.
you. They were like this. I got the only 2 things I could find in the whole pro shop. So
Oh, nice.
That's a cool logo.
It
Good
is.
color too. I
It
like
is.
it. It's
it's
cool.
not bad.
Yeah,
bad.
have to
I
make
don't know
its
what a
debut
clique
next
is,
week
but
or
it's
I
not
something.
don't
bad.
either.
Yeah, I'm
either.
not sure either.
I'm
Sounds
not wearing it
derogatory.
until he gets into the top 10 here.
There you go.
Yeah, he gets
For
in the
3
top 10.
consecutive weeks.
Right. Then I'll wear it. Then I'll wear it every week. That's
There we go. Or maybe you
unbelievable.
start wearing it and then he goes on a tear.
Yeah. Yeah. Our DraftKings contest. It looks like we have a couple more spots left in that, but that should probably fill out.
I gotta get
and
in
then
there.
gotta get
if
in,
I get
like
my
you
shit
said,
together.
the
stuff
one and
together.
done. The
Yeah.
one and done. We got to. Yeah, there's only 4 spots left in that. I went with Poston in the one and done. I
Did
like
you?
him this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good spot for him.
he was kind of in the middle
Playing
rung.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good pick.
Danielle, any more tea to spill or did you
Yeah, for
spill it?
sure.
What
I
do you
mean,
got?
obviously, we have to talk about Taylor Gooch, right? You kind of
I mean,
opened
that's
it
the
up with
thing.
saying if I wasn't here, there'd be an asterisk by the episode. But we all of the world heard that Taylor Gooch came out and said, quote, if Rory McIlroy goes and completes his career Grand Slam without some of the best players in the world, there's just going to be an asterisk. It's just the reality. That's what Gooch told the Australian Golf Digest, saying, I think everyone wins whenever the majors figure out a way to get the best players in the world out there. I accidentally said, I might have said a curse word today here. And Golf Channel's Eamon Lynch did the same thing. He said, Taylor Gooch goes out there and says dumb stuff on live TV. He's like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Twitter and the rest of the social media world has all been like, kind of reacting to what Gooch said.
Yeah.
But Harry, we were talking about it early on. Rory was just kind of like, I kind of feel like the reporter kind of led him down that way. He didn't exactly say it. And he's like, the Masters is an invitational. They'll invite whoever they want is deserving of an invite. And he gave Gooch the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, saying the interviewer led him down the path, but he justified Joaquin Neiman's invite and said he couldn't do the same for Gooch. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, what you heard. And,
I just think this guy needs to stop. Like the comparisons. I've never played in a Ryder Cup or a President's Cup, but this is feels like the same to me. Like
that's when he
all
won
that
a
stuff.
live event, right?
Yeah.
And when I said
you have
if DJ or Brooks wins the Masters, is he going to think any less of that win if a live player wins it? Like,
yeah, it's ridiculous. He's number 449th in the world, according to the OWGR, which really aren't the world rankings in my view. They're flawed.
Of course.
But, I mean, give me a break, will you?
What are you doing?
Like, what has he done? What did he ever do on the PGA Tour? I think he won like one time. Okay.
Just trying
he was
to
up
get
and coming,
attention.
and then he took a bag of money and left, and good. You knew what the possibilities were, that you could miss majors. Like they probably told him that he was going to get world ranking points, and they haven't gotten them yet. So that's on you, because you believed them. And whenever Tiger was hurt or missed a major, so whoever won those majors, they should get an asterisk, because the best player in the world wasn't there. Taylor Gooch is number 200. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
And people are trying to defend him by being like, well, he made the cut and Rory didn't. You're like, really?
What's Rory got to do with it? Like, why are you picking on him?
Yeah, why
I'll
you
pick on him.
Why?
Leave that to me.
Yeah, Harry's got that covered. But Rory did say in a quote today at the presser, he said, they kind of asked him where he is, what his career's like. He just played. He's tired. He just played in the match, and then he had the pro-am today, practice rounds or whatever. And he's like, reporters like, maybe 10 more, good years. And he goes, maybe just a green jacket and walk away. So of course, social media says, he's going to live.
That should be the headline right there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's not winning a green jacket this year anyway, so we don't have to worry about that.
You heard it here first.
I don't know, Harry. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll take DJ over him.
We will see. We can go a little further with the tea. Keep it local. Philly guy Chris Crawford, friend of the show, he Mondayed into the Cognizant. So he'll be in Palm Beach, or he is here this week representing Philadelphia. So keep an eye on him.
Drexel's
all our
own
Philly people. That's right.
Braden Shattuck's in there too.
Braden's in too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
These guys just holding down the Mondays, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And still, I just can't get. I mean, the Cognizant. I'm like, it's Honda. It's Honda. It's so weird to say, like, to be cognitive enough to call it the Cognizant. I'm like,
it's a tough
switch.
Doesn't,
and you can't call it like the cog, right? Like that doesn't. I just don't know what to call it. But speaking of local here to Palm Beach Gardens, Daniel Berger is fully back. A quote coming from him states, "My everyday life sucked." He was sidelined for the second half of 2022 and then 2020, all of 2023. After 19 months of back issues, we saw him return about 5 weeks ago at the Amex. He was just saying he was in pain all the time, and he got to the point where he's just like, this isn't worth playing. He's like, I can't get through the day. He made it a point to not come back until he was 100% healed, because he's like, me at 25% cannot compete with the rest of the guys out here in this field. So the 30-year-old now says he's back to 100%. He didn't rush his return. He knows this course. He's excited to be back, have the support of everybody. Yeah. So we'll see Berger back here as well. Eric Cole also in the field, saw him today. Denny McCarthy saw him today. Lots of guys. We saw Eric Cole go into playoffs last year.
Yep.
So should be Chris Kirk's back in the field again.
Defending. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's pause there real quick, and then we'll come back and preview the no longer Honda Classic.
The Cog Classic.
All right, welcome back to Swing It and Ding It as we look ahead to the Cognizant Classic. Hard to say. It's the Honda. The first stop on the Florida Swing, we have a couple top 10 guys in here. Rory, who we've talked about, and Fitz playing in this. PGA National, you had Chris Kirk, we talked about, won it in 23. Sepp Straka won it in 22. This is when it really kicks in for me. Like I love watching this event. We talked about a lot of golf balls in the water. Harry will, give us your thoughts, and then if you want to roll into the course, of course, with PGA National, go for it.
Yeah, I love this stop on the tour. I love the Florida Swing. I mean, this Bermuda grass, a lot of wind, and you just a lot of the fields just seem to get better. I mean, I know this field has suffered for many years just because it was positioned on the calendar, but it's a good job out of Rory and Ricky to join the field. It's a shame that maybe like the JTs and some of the other guys that live in that area don't at least, come over here and at least give this a Thursday, Friday. Go miss the cut. Just show up and drive up the ticket sales, for the area. It's good for the area down there. But 19 of the top 50 in the world rankings are in the field. You mentioned a bunch of them. Sung Jae has won here in the past. He's scuffling around right now. Maybe this is a week where he gets it back. Russell Henley has played really well here. He's in the field. A lot of people like him. Jake Knapp in the field. Pavon and Valimaki, who they're featured last week. But PGA National Champions course, this is just an unbelievable resort. This is a golf trip that you got to go on, because there's so many great. I think they got like 6 or 7 golf courses, and this is the one that you always have to put on one of the days, because you get a caddy and you go play where the pros play. And like you said, there's water on 15 of the 18 holes, Moose and Danielle, and there's wind everywhere, and it's a lot of crosswinds, which is really what screws these guys up. Everybody talks about the bear trap, which is 15, 16, and 17.
Waste
15,
Management Junior.
Exactly. You're not kidding. It's kind of like the Waste Management light. Like, you and I have been there.
It's going to feel weird, Danielle, not partaking this year, or what?
Yeah, I've had some nice weekends at the bear trap.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This year I might just have my water and watch from home.
I've been down there doing that several times, and I could never get over how loud it was.
Insane.
Right there at the 17th tee, looking down on the guys, and then the 16th green is behind you on the other way. And these guys, they just go about their business. But
the only complaint I have about that, if you don't have tickets to the bear trap, you can't watch that hole.
No.
Like, if you don't have the credentials, you can't you can't see it. So you're like, we were trying to watch Eric Cole, and I'm like, come on, I got a credential. Like, let me in. I want to.
I guess it's the same as 16 at Scottsdale, right?
Yeah.
It's all sort of grandstanded off, if you will, and they
you literally can't see anything
underneath. But that's 15, 16, and 17, 2 really tough par 3s, and 16's a really tough par 4. The second shot into 16 is a tough one. But the holes on the front too, 5, 6, and 7. 6 is all you want, and it's sandwiched in between 2 other tough par 3s, a shorter one on 5 with water, and then 7's a longer par 3. But man, I tell you, you start with the 14th hole, the par 4, with water right, and you just know the big holes are coming up. I mean, you got to get birdies when you can at this place. And now that they've added, the 10th hole made it a par 5, these guys may be able to put another birdie on the card before they get to the bear trap. But 180-yard par 3, 15th hole, water all down the right and long of the green. The bunker left is not an easy bunker shot to get it out and hold the green, so that's not really a great bailout spot. It's always windy. And the 16th hole, par 4, 434 yards, kind of a slight dog leg right. Most difficult hole on the property, really, of PGA National, according to what I've been read and when I played it. Water right, bunker left. The approach is into the wind. The 17th we talk about. And then they finish on a par 5, which is like a double dog leg. Goes dog leg left, then dog leg right to the green. And this is where it came down to when Sepp Straka ended up winning. Shane Lowry's out there in the pouring rain. You remember that? He's in the middle of the fairway with his approach, and probably should have waited until the rain stopped, because nobody was behind him. And it screwed him up. If they play a playoff hole, this is where they go to. This is where Eric Cole, Chris Kirk went to in the playoff. It's a really good par 5, good risk reward. But the bear trap is really rowdy. It's not quite the 16th at the Phoenix Open, but this is a great golf course, and it's good that they've got a better field this year.
Oh yeah. 18, like you said, Harry, just last year, like watching them play that again, it's just such a great playoff hole with trouble all over the place.
You can't see the landing area either off the tee. It's kind of a little bit of a blind tee shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Playoff again this year would be awesome.
It would.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this one for sure. As we talk about seeing the line with our friends from DraftKings, a couple stats that I like to give you from our buddy Jeff Ulrich. Not only water, but there's a lot of sand, right? And you have to be a sand saver. When Ricky won, he was number 1 in the field in sand saves. And 7 of the last 10 winners were at least 44th or better. So you got to be able to get that ball out of those bunkers. And you talked about it, right? It's a difficult course, winds. You got to have to know what's going on. 9 out of the 13 winners here had a T13 or better in previous starts at this place. So a lot of different guys that I'm taking a look at. But first, let me just remind you to get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in a bonus bet. I was taking a look. You have the Sixers. If you have Embiid coming back, plus 2,200 to win a championship, plus 950 to win the conference. So something to keep an eye on to see what happens with those numbers. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code DING, D-I-N-G. New customers can get a no-sweat bet Up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code DING. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. One no sweat bet per customer, issued as one bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Harry.
Yes. 168 hours after, not an hour short or not an hour long.
You got that straight.
168. That's it.
You got it right. So while I catch my breath, tell me who you like.
All right. Well, we've talked about some of these names already.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about, guys that have won here, have finished, in the top 10, 11 a few times before. Eric Cole, I can't avoid it. I think this is his time. This would be a great place for him to win. He finished second last year, plus 2,800. I think is a juicy, nice number for a guy who I think will, has played here a billion times probably over the course of his life, and finished second last year, plus 300 in a top 10. I'll also take him over Fitz, who's scuffling around right now in a matchup at minus 120. Berger, I like Berger here too.
Yeah,
I think Berger's going to make an emergence. Top 20 at plus 190 looks pretty good. He's got 3 top 5s here in his career. I'm going with Moose's guy too, Bazudenhout. Now plus 230 in a top 20. Just a tremendous iron player. You got to be a great iron player, to hit these greens and avoid the water. Alex Noren is another guy who plays really well here. Plus 130 for top 30. He's got a couple of top 5s in his career. And Ben An is another guy who was 21st last year and has 2 top 5s, plus 165 in a top 20. And I'll also take Henley over Tom Kim in a matchup at minus 120. And just a side note, Ryan Palmer is making his 500th PGA Tour start here this week. He's played here a ton of times, has had some success, some top 5s, top 10s. And one of the times when I was down here, I ended up bellying up to the bar at the I-Bar with him, and he's drinking a glass of red wine, and I'm drinking a vodka, and we ended up talking about Texas A&M football and the Cowboys and the Eagles because he's a huge Cowboys fan from Texas.
Amazing.
Great guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
500.
500th. Yeah.
It's a lot of golf. A lot of G. I don't know my numbers. You guys might have to help me out with this, but I have some guys that I just, for whatever reason, being local. Adam Svensson. I feel like he's just been playing sneaky good golf. He is
plus
from this area.
Number.
Yeah. Would love to see, just have my eye on Svenny this week. Denny McCarthy, same thing. Lives years from here. We know he can putt. I'm not sure how he's played here.
5,500. That's a good number for him.
Yeah, and last year Denny was sick, so
even a top 10 at 500 is a nice number on him.
I would kind of go with the long shot theme to almost.
Why not? Right,
500. It's not a huge long shot, but
Svenny, Denny. Let's see
wait, did you call him Svenny?
Svenny, yes, Svensson.
Well, I mean, he's Canadian, so that's kind of the hockey nickname for him. Svenny.
Yeah, Svenny. So
maybe if they would have put a Z in it, would have been Svenzy.
Svenzy.
you gotta put a Z or an S in
Svenzy, there. The frenzy Svenzy. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. But those two guys just kind of, and obviously Eric Cole, but just I think Svensson and Denny, both of them kind of caught my eye and looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I want to see these two what they're gonna do this week. So
cool. A couple guys I like for the win. Shane Lowry has top 5s the past 2 years at 4,500. JT Poston, I mentioned, who I took in the one and done at 3,500. Long shot, a little bit of a long shot. Bazudenhout, like you mentioned, Harry, at 5,500. I actually like Doug Gim in a top 10, 7,500. He's been playing really good golf. And Berger, even if he took him in a top 10 at 400, I like that number. I like Lowry in a matchup, minus 110 over Corey Connors, and Sepp Straka over Minwoo Lee at minus 110. Guy who's won here at almost even money. I can't ignore that.
Past that. Yeah.
No, not at all. So yeah, we shall see. Is it going to be a big name player or is it going to be another first time winner? I don't know.
It'll be a great story regardless.
It will
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
It will be. Well,
Yeah.
Danielle, thank you for making it work. I know you're running around like a crazy
No,
person.
thanks for
Hopefully,
adjusting the time. So I'm sorry. It's been
yeah.
a wild week.
If anything crazy happens down there, you let us know.
I will. I
All
absolutely
right.
will.
We'll be back next week. Thanks all.